That's how easy it is. There you are.
Now
You're
what's
live.
happening? Wow.
Well, Tanis, nice to see you again.
Hi. I know. It's always so good to see you.
It is. I know it's kind of good for people that are just checking in here. This is my friend Tanis Bryson. She's born Tanis Mosentine, and she's a friend of mine from home, Looseland. Tanis is a year behind me in school, not because there's anything wrong with her, but because she was a year younger than me. So I've known you since I was probably 6 years old, or give or take.
Yeah, probably.
Something like that. I probably know you through my cousin Russell,
I
who,
know. I was just thinking.
right? So Russell is one of my best friends, and you guys went to church together, and you guys were in the same class. So that's probably how I know you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And now you live in Edmonton, Alberta, beautiful
hmm
Edmonton, Alberta, on Candy Cane Lane.
Yes. I'm so festive too, so it really works so nicely.
Yeah, just a charming little elf that you are there. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I don't know how we're going to start this here. Let people know. Yeah, when COVID happened, I was pretty isolated. I've mentioned this before on this podcast about how I felt pretty. I was pretty lonely, and I wanted to reach out to talk to people. And then we were doing Zoom meetings with my Kinsman Club using Zoom, and I was running the meeting, so I had a Zoom account. And then I started like just calling people up on Zoom or trying to connect with friends. And then I was like, man, I can connect with some old friends or people I haven't seen forever. And you were one of the people that I thought of because we were pretty good friends back in high school, back in Looseland, like really, really tight. And then,
Yeah.
after graduation, we both kind of went our separate ways. And, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You went to Edmonton, I went to Saskatoon, but that's okay. And, but I was like, I haven't talked to you in 20 years or more. I don't know what it was. At least that probably.
Yeah, I think we did the math. It was a long time.
And yeah, so then I was like, man, it was so nice talking to you though. It was like one of those really good chats we had, and we've connected a couple times since then as well too, just on our own. It's nice to talk to people that know you from way back when. There's no pretext involved. Like I don't have to get to know you at all.
Totally. Totally.
You just
I
like,
think like that first conversation we had was probably an hour or an hour and a half of just like picked up like it was yesterday.
yeah, it really was. It was like a little bit of catching up, and then they just started talking, and I think that's been one of the saving things I've had with COVID during the time of COVID is these conversations with people, and then with the podcast. And I think I even told you I'm going to do a damn podcast because I'm doing this anyways. And I think we had one really great conversation. I was like, man, I should just podcast this because it was kind of interesting. It was interesting to me, and so that was kind of where I got the idea to do that and to share. And what podcast is like, I've been actually talking to a few people without even recording it, so people want to talk to me. We don't have to record it. But the recording is a mechanism. It's a framework that I can kind of work around and try to find interesting things about my friends and then get to know them a little bit better. So that was the impetus behind that. So you're kind of on just before that stage. And then I was thinking the other day about going to the gym. Now, people out there might surprise you, but I haven't always been in the best shape. And in fact, I hadn't visited a gym in a few years. So one of the things I was trying to do to get through COVID was go for walks and get really good exercise, like every day, just be diligent about it. It was great while it was nice out, but then when it got cold out, I wasn't doing so well. So I wanted to go back to the gym. So that's pretty cool, except we have to wear a mask now. And my gym is really a nice gym, but we can't use the steam room. So it sucks. I used to go to work out for an hour and then sit in the steam room for an hour. It's just beautiful. Like I was working out, like, God, I can't wait to get in that steam room. So, but what's interesting about you, I think, or one of the interesting things about you, maybe people don't know, is that you're a fitness enthusiast. And I think that's the best way to describe you, I think, or one way to describe you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but before then, I want to know how you got into fitness, Tanis.
Oh, that's such a good question.
Because like you're active in school. Like you didn't shy away from sports or anything. I think
No.
you probably did figure skating. I think you did figure skating, right?
Yes, I did, till I
But
got to an age where I just wanted to visit with people and not actually skate. But I did.
that's every day now. So did you play sports in high school at all or anything like that?
So it's so interesting because I listened to a bit of the podcast you did with Denise. I
Yeah,
don't
our
remember
friend.
what.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were talking about volleyball, of course, and all those things. And so there's lots of opportunities being in a small town. Um, but I'm a pretty average athlete, average at best.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't know, I can't speak for the guys we went to school with, but I was surrounded by a lot of like really, really talented athletic girls in high school. And I wasn't super talented.
Mm.
So I didn't get into like any of the competitive sports really in high school. Because I wasn't one of those super talented people. And I think that there wasn't a lot of exposure to like other things. So once I left high school, my first 2 years of university, all I did was play all the recreational sports,
Oh,
like the
okay.
campus recs.
Yeah, yeah,
That's all
yeah.
I did. And then was just exposed to more things and started going to the gym more, lifting weights, running, and then kind of built a bit of a social circle around that. And it just kind of snowballed from there, I
So
would
that it
say.
was a bit of an evolution then. It wasn't like you didn't have any like hardcore moments like, man, I really gotta start taking care of myself more or what it was. Like
It
was it
was an
in
evolution. Yeah, I
yeah.
would say an evolution. But like those first 2 years of university and doing all the campus rec stuff was partnered really nicely with pub crawls and things of that nature that you do in
Sure.
your first 2 years in
Yeah, okay.
residence.
Yeah.
So it was like very social.
Yeah.
And then the more time I started spending in the gym, I started meeting different people. And then it would have been the year I graduated university. I was friends with this couple and he was a personal trainer and he said, "Hey, why don't you sign up for a marathon?" And I was like, "Yeah, I've
Oh,
always wanted to do a marathon."
really?
Okay. Yeah. So I signed up.
Wow.
So my first road race ever was a marathon. And
Holy shit.
I just kind of, things evolved from there. It just became a really big part of my life.
Yeah, no, it certainly did. Like, holy Christ. I wouldn't have pegged you to be like that. It's not like I don't
Oh,
mean that in a bad way. I just mean that you're a social person and that's why we're friends. But but yeah, you like running a marathon is no joke though. Like that takes determination and effort to do that. Like that's just like you don't just decide to do a marathon. You got to do some training and you got to prepare for it. Do
mhm,
you not? Yeah.
mhm.
So how did that
Yeah.
go? What was your first marathon then?
So it was the Edmonton Marathon, and it was the year that the World Track and Field Championships were here. So it was on that course. And this friend of mine, he's a personal trainer, and he had helped train me, and it was an awesome experience. I loved it. I had tears as I got close to the finish line. So it was everything you could dream of. And then I did a few more marathons after that. And then I had always wanted to do an Ironman. And
Right.
yeah,
Wow.
so same thing. I hadn't done a triathlon before. I hadn't swam since I was a kid and I didn't have a bike. But a girlfriend and I drove out, drove out to Penticton and signed up for Ironman. You have to sign up a year in advance. And
Oh,
then
okay.
I
Okay.
started on that journey and got into triathlon for a few years. And so
Holy shit.
I've kind of just, it's been an evolution and I haven't stuck to one
Yeah.
sport or activity, just kind of go where my heart leads me.
Yeah. No, that's really incredible actually that you're just I know because we were texting, you should come on my podcast. You're always kind of scared. It's like, well, you run marathons, you're doing all these crazy things. And all you do with my podcast is
Anybody can
just
do it.
you can just talk to me. Like I'm pretty good at that.
But I do
Um,
believe like anybody can do any of those
yeah,
things. But it just takes time and effort and dedication. And then you can do it.
just like that. Hey,
Just like that.
I don't know if I want to do that or not. I started running
Right.
last year. Or was it last year? I guess Yeah, I was preparing for it. Our company was actually doing a really cool thing with mental health. Um, our company used to be big in matching donors for the United Way. That was kind of the way. That's the way we gave back money. So we do a matching program, and then we fell into hard times. And then as we came out of those hard times, they were like, "Well, we got to give more money back to the community again. We have a bit of money available for that. How do you want to do it?" And the company made a decision, apparently, saying, "Look, well, let's do it on our own." And what do people care about? And our CEO is big on mental health, so let's just do a big mental health front city, and it actually blew up huge. Like a lot of people didn't. I don't think we realized how big it was going to be, and so it's in September, at least it was last year, something like that. And then so when was that? It was in May. Ah, it was in May because I started in the wintertime. I started running indoors and I started running outdoors. And so I'd never done that before. So I was running 5K, which is
Oh,
holy shit.
yeah. Did you like it?
I liked it better than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Because you get the endorphins going, right? After about
Yes.
a little while, anyways. And it felt good. And then I pulled my muscle. So I didn't really get the proper training, I think, or I'm also kind of older and a little more stiff than I used to be. So I pulled a calf muscle, and so I kind of walked it. And then for the run itself, I ran a bit and walked a bit. And my wife, she's like me. She's not a runner, but well, for her too, it's the hips, right? And maybe it's with you too, because after you have kids, the hips kind of do what they want to do. And so, so I've heard the stories. It's not uncommon for women to struggle with that a little bit, right? And the bones are going to do what they're going to do. So she walked, but anyways, he did it, and it felt good. I got a nice little medal, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
and
then
you raised money and awareness around a good cause. It's all good.
It was good. It was a nice day. And everybody's cheering for you. So that's the first kind of thing I did. So that's the only time. It's the first time I started running since high school. I hadn't ran at all, and I hated running in high school because it was always about training and I don't know. I was out, like, we were running around on the stupid roads. So
I know.
So the roads aren't very good to run on because they're kind of soft and the gravel roads.
Gravelly. I used to run like on the farm. Sometimes I'd run from my house down. I'd just say I'm running to the corner, which was probably like half a mile away. But
right, yeah.
It was like flat. Like I just remember that however long I'd be out for. 15 or 20 minutes felt like an eternity. An eternity.
Yeah.
Felt so long.
But then I guess, I don't know, like that didn't just discourage you though from trying to run at all.
I remember
what the hell's the matter with you? Like it.
Yeah, I know. Just give up, Tanis. Give up already.
That's what my voice
I remember coming home from university. I must have started running because I was like, I'm going to run into town, like from the farm, which was about 10 miles. So it must have been in there. And God, when I lived on the farm, there's like, that would have been, there's no way I would have ever even contemplated doing that. But at a certain point, I was like, no, wait a second, this is doable.
Yeah. And I guess that's the lesson, I think, for people that just want to start off with a training regimen or something. It's like, just start, and then you can get the help's available, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get help. And I don't think it's even that expensive if you want to get some sort of training to start you off, right?
There's so many amazing things out there. So many amazing things. And so I belong to now used to former CrossFit gym, but we dropped the CrossFit affiliation. And when they closed the doors, they had some at-home workouts, but I have some gym equipment at home, so I was finding it just not what I needed. And there's so many online programs that are amazing. And if you have like zero experience and no equipment, they still have amazing workouts. And often they have like really good online communities, which is really kind of cool. If they have like a Facebook group and then there's, 5,000 other people in there from all over North America, it's kind of a neat experience. And I need that community aspect to motivate me.
Yeah.
I find that social community, I don't know what it is, but some camaraderie, I guess.
Yeah, I could definitely see that about you there. And like you've talked about that too with your gym here. Um, they're kind of like sort of a second family for you. Oftentimes there's a support group, and I think you've done some traveling with a few of them as well too, right? So
Yeah.
for runs and other stuff too, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's so. Anyways, that's what I kind of want to get across to people. Like you can do this. It's okay. Like I knew you, and again, there's
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
wrong with you before, but you were never one of those hardcore people growing up with, but you still were able to do it and
Yeah.
get going on it. So
And it has been an evolution, and I'm probably the fittest I've ever been at this point in my life. So in my late 20s, like I'm but like in my 40s, two kids, like, like just
that's
completely living the
really,
middle-aged
hey.
life.
Well,
Yeah, for
okay.
sure.
So you were doing running and then you got to Ironman. Were you kind of always focused on that kind of stuff? Mostly like you pick sort of a goal that you want to achieve. Say, I want to run a marathon. I want to run a few
Yeah.
marathons. I want to do Ironman.
Yeah.
That's what you did. You wanted sort of that next sort of challenge and
Yeah, I
prepare for
guess
that.
so.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
And then like I would do that as long as I still felt I felt passionate about it, because as soon as you lose that little spark, then the training is really, really, really hard to get through. And if you can't get through the training, then the race
Yeah.
is miserable. One of my girlfriends at the gym wanted to do the death race, which is at Grand Cache. I don't even know how far it is. I don't know. It's a long race. And she wanted
Okay.
to split it, which would mean like a 50 some kilometer leg for each of us.
Holy shit.
Um, and I'm like, well, I could do it, but I know that I don't have that spark
Yeah.
like, I've done my endurance events. I don't have the spark I need to do the training. And so I told her I'd do anything in the world for her, but I couldn't do that just because I knew that like mentally it would be too hard to get through. So for
Yeah.
me, the key is to always find something that there's a little bit of a spark or something that I'm striving towards achieving, and that kind of keeps me motivated. So
Right.
it might be like a 5K race, like you said, as long as you have some spark.
Yeah, you need that
um
motivation, right? I guess that's the tickets, the goal that you need to have, and it has to be out there somewhere that's achievable. Like people always talk about these stupid goals all the time, but it's true. So you have to have a mechanism. You call it your spark. Have you always called it your spark, or is that just a term you made up just now?
oh no, I have used it before. um so I didn't make it up just right now, but it may be
Yeah,
something that I've made up at one point in my life. But to me it just feels like there has to be something inside of you that wants it.
okay,
um
yeah,
And if you don't want it, then you maybe haven't found the right outlet for like the physical activity, physical fitness piece, because there's so many options. It
right,
might just not be, what you're looking at right now.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's good to know. But so you kind of lose your spark on, say, Iron Man, and
For
then
now.
did you get into what else? What'd you move on from there? What was your journey like there? What interest? What was your spark? Or where'd your spark go?
So I did triathlons and then
Yeah,
had started having kids, and that,
kids. Yeah, that's a spark.
yeah, that is a spark. So,
Yeah,
and I mean, that in itself was a journey, right? Because you have pregnancies and then you have postpartum and blah, 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 blah.
right.
So, hiatus of like, I don't know, 7 years, maybe. Like it
Oh,
seemed like
okay.
quite a long time that I was a little bit active, but it'd be like I'd run twice a week or
Hmm.
something like that. And then it's my sister, Courtney, that
Little
she had
Courtney.
started, little Courtney, she had
That's a
started
little.
CrossFit. And
Okay.
there's
Okay.
so much like like you've seen all the memes on CrossFit and stuff like that. So I used to make fun of her for doing CrossFit. But anyways, Estelle was 2, so my youngest was 2, and my sister convinced me to try it.
Okay.
And then I was hooked. And so that was 6 years. Holy, yeah, that was 6 years
Okay.
ago now.
All
And I've
right.
been hooked ever since.
Okay. So for me and people who don't know, describe. define CrossFit. What is CrossFit exactly?
So it is, I should know all of this down pat, but it's
Not a
base.
test.
I know. I just did my CrossFit level 1 certification though.
Oh,
And so
okay.
this is
Okay.
quite an embarrassment that I don't have the recall I need. But it's
Yeah.
ultimately like functional fitness. And so it's
Okay.
constantly varied movements. So you're doing something different all the time. So different lengths of time. Some things are
Yeah.
really short and intense, some are longer, more endurance. There's like all different kinds of weightlifting components, gymnastics components,
Hmm.
mobility. And it's just to help make you more fit across the board. So it
Right.
doesn't get you really good at running. It doesn't get you really good at Olympic lifting. It doesn't get you really good at gymnastics. But if you got tested on a bunch of different things, it wants you to be pretty decent at all of them, is kind of the
Well-rounded
idea.
fitness. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you're not like huge or fast or whatever, but you're strong, you're lean, quick.
Yeah. I mean, and I wouldn't,
Okay.
some of those things are like strong and lean. Those would just, I would use words like healthy,
Okay.
confident. Those, I feel like those, and I'm not trying to
Okay.
be like, um, but I think, you know, putting your body through work and achieving new goals does more to your mindset. It may make changes to your body, but the most important and significant changes, I think, are to your mindset,
Okay.
um, how you view yourself, those things. That's what I believe, anyways.
Okay. No. That's important. There's your spark right there. So that's interesting. I had a personal trainer a few years ago, and I wasn't sure. I was like sure what I was getting myself into, and it was okay. I was doing it, but I was working hard, but I wasn't feeling good. I was feeling kind of beat up
Mm.
after every time. And she was fine. And I think I probably should have focused on nutrition more at that time, which I wasn't really doing. I still put a lot of garbage in my body. I think that was the biggest problem with me. And when I stopped doing that, just like 3 years ago, I lost a ton of weight, like almost
Mhm.
not literally a ton of weight, but I lost a lot of weight um, by just cutting out the sugar. And sugar was like number one. And then just going easy on the carbs. And then I found, holy Christ, like then it kind of like leveled off. But before
Mhm.
then, she was kind of like running me around and have really bad knees. And I was like, I can't be doing the like sprints and those kind of lunges because like my knees felt like really unstable and maybe I
Mhm.
didn't get them all done. And I kind of tried to talk to her and I think she really understood what I was talking about. I was like,
Oh.
I can't do it. Like it hurts. And so, or maybe I was kind of scared about it or whatever else. So I was thinking about maybe changing my regimen. And then I just stopped going. And,
Yeah.
and I don't know what it was. Maybe I never felt that spark myself, or I didn't know what my goal was. Maybe
Yeah.
like
And
you can't just say I want to be fit. Yeah,
if something's uncomfortable, like it doesn't have to be. Like there's ways you can kind of like modify and
yeah,
make something work for your body, but don't ever underestimate the importance of sleep and nutrition, because you can work out like mad, but if those things aren't dialed in, and stress management too, those are like
oh,
so critical, but people overlook those, right? Like you think, well, I'm going to the gym, so I'm going to treat myself to this or whatever, but that nutrition piece is
right.
really critical.
Yeah, no, I'm getting that now. So um, that's interesting. Yeah. Um, sorry, my brain's just thinking here, having a bit of a brain fart. You have me at a loss for words, Tanis. It hasn't happened in a long time. So
So do you still have this personal trainer? That
no,
was in
no,
days gone
I
by.
did it for about a year, and it was okay, but I'm okay not. And I liked her. She's a nice person, but I'm okay not seeing her anymore. I don't know where she is. Anyways, she was fit and like lean and like holy Christ, she can do anything. It was pretty crazy. I was in no, I was going to get into. I was thinking about getting into. I never really did though. Was get into weight training, in general. Have you done that? Is that part of your CrossFit type training, or do you do that?
Like powerlifting
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, that's part of, that's usually an element of CrossFit. Um, I enjoy it a lot, but what I find with that, I guess the one hang up I have is a lot of it is based on your 1 rep max potential. So like the heaviest load you
Oh,
can
okay.
move. And I, uh, on a good day, I'm okay with doing a 1 rep max. But
Yeah.
if it's not a good day, I feel like that puts your body, because it's just one
Mm,
small imperfection in your movement. And all of a sudden, 1 rep
yeah.
maxing a back squat or a deadlift, and all of a sudden you're maybe dealing with an injury or something. So the 1 rep max stuff makes me a little bit nervous. So
Right.
I do it, but I kind of try to focus more on like 3 rep maxes and things like that. One
Okay.
reps if it's a good day. But
Yeah.
so the more muscle you have, the more calories you're going to burn, and bone density
Yeah.
will increase. Like there's lots of the health benefits associated with the muscle mass. And so that's where I really have a big appreciation for the powerlifting.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to get into weights a bit more too. So I'm trying to incorporate that into my exercise more. So just the free weights and simple dumbbells and that kind of stuff too. And simple presses. And
Text me if you want some workouts. Like I will
I
fire some your
might.
way. Yeah.
I might get some workouts from you, just some simple workouts, and I don't want it too complicated either. That's the thing about, that's the other thing that bugged me about um, like with my trainer there. She was like, give me all these exercises, but I was getting confused. I couldn't remember them all. And like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I was like, I just want something I can go to the gym and just pull out my phone and I know what I'm going to do that day and just, I don't have to think about it. So now that's kind
Yes.
of what I'm doing. I just do a little warm up, and then maybe I go to a bench and I just pick some weights, and I'm going to do this, and these are the weights I'm going to go at, and I'll do a bunch of reps, and then maybe
Yeah.
the next day I'll do core, on in
Yeah.
a mat, and just work on my few core exercises and do warm ups, and I'm trying to walk a lot too, because I feel good when I walk. Like
Mm-hmm.
my brain kind of needs to be shut off.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yes, I could use like, I just like to have maybe 4 or 5 different types of days that I just repeat it over and over. That's all I don't want
No
complicated.
variation. Is the constantly
Zero
varied
variation.
is key. You're like no
I
variation.
want minimum
Tuesday's
variation.
biceps day.
Thank you. Well, no, do triceps too on Tuesdays. So
um I totally understand, because when the lockdown first started in March, some of the programming I was doing was just like I was having to watch a 7-minute video, and then I'm like, these movements are way too complicated, and
huh.
and then by the time I got to working out, I'm like, I don't even feel like this anymore. So I did find an online program that was like I could just open up my phone and be like, got it, and then hit the
Okay.
workout. And so I very much appreciate where you're coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of too much shit in my life. I don't need to complicate it
Totally.
anymore than it is. So, and then, so yeah, so then COVID happened, and your gym, because you're always doing group classes that you really enjoyed. And then
Yeah.
I'm trying to, when would have that, like, cause they got shut down at a certain point. I don't know when that was for
Yeah,
Alberta
pretty
or
early.
Edmonton.
Yeah, pretty early. And then they opened up again, gosh, I don't know, June or July maybe. And then, oh, no, it must have been July. And then just closed again kind of at the end of November.
Oh, okay.
And
So
it's
recently.
funny because they are like my gym is such a big part of my life. Like my very closest best friends in the world are there.
Yeah.
So it was like not just loss of like being able to go to a gym, but like having like that second home.
Hmm.
So I went through a bit of a withdrawal period, but then got into a routine of working out at home. And
Oh yeah. Okay.
the thing that kept me going was the programming I'd signed up for. You got a free hoodie after you logged 75 workouts with. And
That's hilarious.
oh, just 1 sec.
Oh, we lost you.
I'm having some. Yeah, I know we're disconnected. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I could cut this out or just
Okay.
keep it in. I think it's hilarious.
Well, I'm just getting connected to like speakers in my house. Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
think I'm back on AirPods now. Um,
Okay.
yeah, you got a free hoodie after 75 workouts. And so I was like a hoodie, like who
That is
cares? But
so
for some
funny.
reason that just like that I was doing 2 workouts a day just because I'm like, I want that hoodie. I'd only signed up for their 3 months. It was like 3 months for $39. And I was like, I need to get my 75 workouts in before the 3 months end. And I did.
You did her. Oh my gosh. That's
I did
crazy.
it.
So you did it in your house? Did it
Yeah,
at
or in
home?
my yard. I'm sure my neighbors think I'm crazy, but yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they do. Oh yeah, I guess yeah, you haven't had the snow like we do, I guess. Maybe not, or it hasn't been as bad.
Well, that was in the summer. In the summer. Now I'm back into
Oh,
my basement
okay.
gym. Yeah.
So you have a basement gym. What kind of devices would you have down there? Devices. What kind of equipment would you have? I mean, like I was doing a
I
bunch of like
have,
Cyber Monday,
yeah,
buying
yeah.
stuff on Amazon for devices. What kind of equipment would,
You know
would
what
you
was
have down there?
interesting
What?
is when it got really, really hard to buy any gym equipment once the pandemic hit.
Ah, we
So I
we all
had,
got a bikes and we couldn't get a bike anywhere.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everything became really hard to get. So I already had a rack that I could do chin ups on and then like squats or bench press, and I had a bench and a
Okay.
barbell and plates and dumbbells. Um,
Okay.
and then when the pandemic hit, I managed to get myself a plyo box, like to do box jumps on, and some kettlebells and some rings. So I've got a decent setup. I don't have any cardio equipment yet. I've been trying to
Hmm.
get a rower since the pandemic hit, but that's
Yeah.
not happening.
Okay, I got a question for you. So imagine
Okay.
you don't have any of that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you're a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to stay fit in COVID times.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of equipment would you get? What would be the first things that you would get? Just a simplified one that doesn't take up a lot of room, that can help
So
somebody fit.
yeah, so for me personally, if I had to pick one thing in my basement or the
Yeah.
one thing I use the most,
Yeah, sure.
it would be a set of dumbbells.
Okay. Dumbbells, hey.
Yeah, dumbbells or skipping rope would be good.
Skipping rope, yeah. That's good. Good cardio.
There's a ton of stuff you can do with just the dumbbells.
Dumbbells, maybe a bench or something like that to sit on or stand on or
I don't use my bench that much, but I do
okay.
enjoy having my box because you can do step ups on a box or box jumps.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, bands are great, like
Right.
the
For resistance
mhm,
things, you can do a bunch of things with
those
those.
are really good. Yeah. Um, I do like my kettlebells as well. They were an addition, but I
Yeah.
think if I had to pick between I mean, a barbell, then we're getting into a bit more stuff, right? You're thinking keep it really simple. So I definitely say the dumbbells. Um, but if your spark is using an elliptical trainer, then you should get an elliptical trainer. And I've
Right.
heard awesome things about that Peloton. There's like a bike
I know.
and
Well, people
programs
made
with
fun of the
Peloton.
poor commercial because there's a woman, like her
Oh yeah,
boyfriend bought her husband bought her this. She's so thankful. And I was like, oh yeah, your husband's telling you you're fat. It's like, no, what? That's such
that's so
bullshit.
funny.
Like,
Yeah. No way,
she
that's a
wants to get
great
herself.
gift.
Yeah, Peloton. And Peloton is like you have to buy a bike, and then there's classes that are online classes with somebody. Is that how it
I
works?
guess
Or
so. I don't even know how it works. It seems to be a thing lately that people are into.
oh,
So,
I don't know.
um, but there's tons of stuff. I mean, bottom line, there's tons of stuff you can do body weight, like just body weight. So without any equipment. And if you wanted to add some equipment, then
Yeah,
dumbbells. But if something is your spark, something else lights your, maybe it's cross country skiing. Maybe that's what keeps you fit. Maybe it's skating.
yeah. Can't find cross country skis in the city apparently.
I know.
The
I started
snow's
looking
perfect
in
here.
mid-October.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Can't find nothing.
Nothing.
But well, you can always make an order for something, and then well, cross country skis, who knows when it's going to arrive? But if you can order like say a box or some kettlebells or something like that, they'll come when they come, and you can get them when you get them. Like if you're not moving
Yeah.
anywhere, it's perfectly fine to get, and you can wait a month or two if you have to.
Yeah.
But I think that might be of interest to some people looking to get fit or try to tone themselves up a little bit or just get a little more active in the cold months of winter as we got here in Canada.
Cold and dark.
brutal.
It's awful. It's so
Hate it
awful.
all.
But the sunrises and sunsets are like so good in the winter.
They are. If you can find them, they're so far south. And well, I know, and well, you're in Edmonton. You're further north than I am too. Like you get.
I know they're so pretty though this morning. I think Saskatchewan has the best sunrises and sunsets though.
We do. We really do. We are God's country here. So
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I mean you can take the sunrise sunset.
Shit. You probably had sunsets. You probably had Harts Hill.
Harts Hill. Oh,
Would have been in
yeah.
your sunset. You probably would have
I don't.
right?
You know what's disappointing? I don't think I appreciated that while I was there.
Well, come on. You're too busy having
that I did.
Don't be so hard on yourself. You've been too busy having fun.
We did enjoy. I remember laying on the trampoline in my yard and looking up at the stars when we were like junior high or high school. Like,
yeah,
we appreciated the dark skies of the prairies.
We did. I recall more than a few times lying in the back of my half ton and looking at the stars with whoever was there in case of underage drinking and driving.
Fun.
But
yeah,
especially in the wintertime though too, because you get if it's a clear night, cold night, boy, the stars are pretty good. You get some and then you get the northern lights as well and just blow your mind sometimes. Yeah, it is the land of living skies. And my kids don't know that, right? I go to the lake and we kind of get a little bit at the lake, except the problem is when we go to the lake, they're the bedtime is like they're not usually like it doesn't get dark till 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So they can't really see it very well. So when that comet was going by this summer, I was trying to look at the comet, but it wasn't. We have a little telescope, but it was just still too bright.
Yeah,
it was like almost midnight. Well, you got to go to bed, kid. That's what
I know.
But like in the wintertime, we got that a lot living out in the middle of the prairies, just cold prairies, and he had nothing but sky, and it was absolutely kind of it's pretty lovely actually.
Like no light pollution at all. Yeah, so nice.
No,
so nice.
Yeah, kind of miss it a little bit. Well, I think we made the most of it anyways back then.
We did. I mean, I'm positive of that. We did our best.
I know. It's too bad. Everybody went their separate ways, but maybe that was the end of an era too, because there's not very many people back home like there were when we were there. Like there weren't a lot of kids. There's not a lot of kids like there were when we were there. We had full classrooms, and we had full. Every small town had a hockey team, and there was enough kids for everything. So didn't have a lot, but we had enough.
Yeah, totally.
A swimming pool, had a theater.
Yeah, there's a brand new swimming pool there now. Hey,
I know. I kind of want to go out there now and
I know. I thought about it this summer. I'm like, oh, nobody wants a bunch of Edmonton people showing up in Looseland with COVID.
No, that's true. And the other part about it, because I don't think you can jump off the roof into the pool in the new one.
I didn't ever do that, but I did sneak in over the fence like after hours.
I know. I was with you one time.
Were you?
Yeah. Well,
somebody got caught on the fence. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I know I was with you guys once, and this is how I know, because they found the next morning, my dad found some wet underwear of the female persuasion in the truck. It wasn't yours.
Oh, that is awesome.
And he's like, "Is this yours?" I'm like, "No, it's not mine." It was soaking wet. That's what it was. Like, nothing untoward happened. I think we were just swimming in our underwear.
No.
Though, so.
Oh, I'm sure. So fun though. Teenage years. Honestly, it's like awesome.
Yeah, we had some good times there.
I love it.
So what else?
Love it.
What else is going on with you now? Like, how are the kids? Well, how are they doing? Your kids?
Good.
Yeah.
I think they're tired of COVID too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think the anticipation of Christmas and not knowing what that's going to look like is distressing them a little bit. I mean, I'm just really glad they're still at school and going to school.
Yeah.
Are your kids going to actual school still?
Yeah, they are. They actually had a COVID scare. Somebody in the administration of our school got it. So they got a note the other day. So that's the plan, right? They divide these kids into cohorts, and then So they just have to take the cohort out. They don't have to take the whole school out.
Yeah.
And the cohort
Yeah.
of their school mins, like the principals and everybody else, had to go. So they're bringing in the
Oh,
superintendent, but they're still going to school. And
yeah.
I don't know. They're doing okay. Like, it is wearing on though. You can tell, and they're a little shorter with each other than you think they would be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of, they'll never forget this. This is such a weird thing for
Totally.
them. So
And I was thinking the other day that it's almost been a year that I've been working from my dining room table and I'm fed up with it and I'm going to create a little workstation for the new year because I don't see this kind of ending quickly.
oh yeah,
um,
really? Hey,
and
yeah.
then I was thinking, do you remember when you were a kid, how long it took to have like your next birthday? Like a year felt like a decade.
It never came.
And so then I was just thinking about like this whole year of COVID must seem really, really long for our kids. Like,
That's a very good point. Yeah, I never thought of that. Yeah,
yeah,
because years just creeped on by when you were a kid, and as you get older, this time speeds up.
so fast. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sure it's seeming lengthy to them. If it's seeming lengthy to us and tiresome to us, it's probably even worse for them.
yeah. Well, they're getting Christmas presents already. I got a Christmas present that my mom and dad gave me some cash for, so I got them.
Oh yeah.
But the delivery guy dropped it off right when the kids are coming in, and there's one of those boxes that has like everything on it, like, so it wasn't even wrapped up in an Amazon.
Oh no.
So,
So did they get it?
yeah, kid comes down, hey dad, this came for you. I'm like, oh shit. And I look at my phone. Yeah, just arrived right when they're coming home from school.
That's
So
okay though. They'll really enjoy it. Do you know what I
that's
mean? Like it
fine.
won't
It's
come with
fine.
everything else.
Well,
Yeah.
they could play with it ahead of time, and that's fine
Hmm.
too. Well, he threw it underneath the tree. I'm like, do we even wrap it up?
No.
What we do
Sounds
right
like
now.
work.
So he's got that going for him anyway. So we have a lot of extra cash right now too, because we're not spending money going out at all. So like,
Yeah.
I have all this disposable income now that I just buy junk with it. I should gotta watch myself, because when this COVID ends, I'm gonna be watch my habit of buying things online all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a bit of online shopping, especially with Christmas. Need to rein that in for sure.
Yeah. Where are your parents at?
Here, Edmonton.
Are you guys gonna see them at Christmas time?
I don't think so. We
Not
haven't been
allowed
in
to?
each other's houses since March. So, but if things are better, I will be in Saskatoon maybe at some point
Oh,
over the Christmas break. Yes.
well, look me up. I'm
Yeah.
around, so we'll get
We
together.
can go for a socially distanced walk outside or something. A,
Well,
a
our bars are
beer
still
walk.
open. Like, we can go
Yeah,
for
that's right. I know
we can go
bars are
for a
still
drink.
open.
Like, you
Yeah.
can't have more than like two people together. But I went with a friend the other day, and there's another thing. My friend texted me, and he's, well, on Twitter. He, like, I don't know. We were kind of had a conversation, and just happened to mention, yeah, things are tough, man. And last week was kind of in the dumps. And he's like, let's go. And he texted me. He's like, let's go for lunch. I'm like, good. Let's do this thing. Let's get out. And it
Hmm.
felt so good to see my friend. He was just sitting right there.
Yeah.
I just had a
Yes.
drink, and
Yes.
it was
Yes.
nice. It was nice. And tomorrow night, I got another date set up with another friend. So I'm going to
You
go out with
can.
him, and we can do that we're going to go for an hour. So you can't even do that in Edmonton, eh? Or can you?
So no, like restaurants and bars are still open, but you're only supposed to go with people that live in your household.
What the
Although
fuck?
they're not going to like ID you to check, but
The
I
fuck is
mean,
that?
yeah. So I haven't, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, it's not fun. But like being around people, like gosh,
Yeah.
when we went through the first round, and like it had been like the first month, which was like really hard. I don't know, but I had like a lot of like emotions around not being able to see my friends or be at the gym. And there's like so many friends that we'd even FaceTime each other and we'd be like crying, like, oh my God, I miss you so much. Like you don't realize how important like those little social interactions are.
They're so
And like that
important. Yeah.
connection to other people. Hmm.
Yeah. I really miss it. I miss it.
Hmm.
And yeah, but are we going to take it for granted? Of course we are, because we're human beings. We're going to forget this after 6 months. Remember COVID? Yeah, that was kind of crazy. And then
That
we're going to move
sucked.
on.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way we operate as human beings. So, But
It's
the social
true.
connections are, God, they're so fucking important right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
have a cousin my cousin Don. He just moved back to Robert.
Oh yeah.
He travels. He's with Enbridge and he's been with the pipeline for years. And
Yes, I worked out at the station when I was a summer student one year, and I remember him being out
oh
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He
it's
started
pretty
like
funny.
right out of high school, and now he's like
Yeah.
one of the big shots there. So he was in Regina for a while. Now they're moving back to Robert, and then he's like, "Oh, good. I'll definitely go see him." And then I realized I can't go see him. Like I can't go out and
I know.
not supposed to go see him at all. There's it's my cousin. I want to see him again, right? I haven't seen him for a while,
Yeah.
so it's fucking brutal.
Yeah. It is. It
I
is.
don't know.
It is.
How's your work going?
Work. It's good. It's okay. I mean,
Who are you with? The
uh,
what's
energy regulator in the province. Yeah.
is that what it's
The
called?
Alberta Energy Regulator.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
long have you been with them?
good. 7 years.
7 years. Okay. I thought
Yeah.
you were there longer with them.
So, like, I've been with the government for most of my career. It's just I've been in different places, and they're arm's length to government. So,
Yeah.
so that could be why you thought that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Fair
good.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.
And you have a good working arrangement with them too, like in terms of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really good. And especially now, like, gosh, trying actually yesterday morning, I don't usually do video conferences, and it was like a busy morning getting the kids out the door to school. And I just like literally threw on a hoodie and a toque.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was in one of these big meetings, and the chair decided everybody needed to turn their cameras on. And I was like, oh God, like I looked like very unprofessional. Like I was like, what do I do? Like if I don't turn my camera on, then they're going to assume I'm in my pajamas. So I think I should turn my camera on, show them I'm not in my pajamas, but I'm not like I'm wearing a toque and a hoodie. So
nobody cares. That's the thing I found. Nobody cares anymore. Everyone looks like shit on these video calls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So. I don't think anybody does. And it doesn't matter. I kind of at the end of the day, I'm like, it doesn't matter if me wearing a toque doesn't impact how I do my job. So
no.
If you can't deal with that, then that's on you, not me.
Your hair, let's let it buck. You don't need to wear a toque. Just let her go. You saw my hair this summer. It was fun. It was awesome.
No, it's good. I know it was good.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good. Do you have any questions for me at all, or do you think you're
No, I'm really glad that you're back at getting back at the gym and
okay. Thanks.
Doing lots of those things that are making you feel grounded maybe, or centered, or whatever it is that you're seeking. Kind of exploring that out a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. If you want to know what my spark is, it's all about mental health. I didn't really think about that before. And then now it's like, I'm going there because it's like, just to get because I'm really concerned about like depression and anxiety. And that's basically what I've been dealing with. And so, and now I have an excuse to go, and I can go. Like because I don't really care about looking good.
Yeah.
I don't, feeling good it's a nice goal, but honestly, it's more my brain that scares me.
We kind of talked about that too. I'm sorry, my headphones are dying now, so I'm just looking for another set. But we kind of talked about that too, right? Like, for me, that's a big part of why I do it too. It's like my therapy in a way, right? Like
exactly. Yeah. It's part of your therapy. It should be, anyways.
Yeah.
So
totally.
Yeah. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at with that. So that's why I like to talk to you about these kind of things as well. It's nice to know someone who's been there, and I don't have to feel embarrassed.
No.
About
totally
my own shortcomings in that regard. So.
Oh, you don't have any, like, there's no such thing as a shortcoming.
I have shortcomings.
No. No, everybody's just at a different stage, and it's a different journey for everyone. And
you're so fucking positive. It's amazing.
Well, no, I'm not, but I try.
Anyways, it's really nice talking to you. I think we'll end the conversation, the recording now, but maybe we'll but we can continue
As
though.
my earphones are dying.
Yeah.
That's perfect timing.